So I said this. The Jets have been, for about a decade, 8-9 years, have been so bad at quarterback that there's no reason for me to be cynical or snarky. Last night looked like Mona Lisa. If you go to the last 8 years, that was one of the great nights of quarterback play. I don't know if it's long-lasting. The schedule gets tougher, but I thought that looked like a highly functional offense, and Aaron was comfortable. That was my take. Yours?
Yeah, this is the Aaron Rodgers that I expected them to have last year before he got hurt, and this is the potential with Aaron Rodgers, and you look at what they've been able to do this year. What's it? 3 touchdowns in 3 straight games. They had one game all last season where they had 3 touchdowns. He looked poised. His movement was very good. It looks like he's got a rapport now with the wide receivers when he's changing plays at the line of scrimmage. That's really positive. And we can ding the Patriots, but the Patriots, they upset the Bengals. They're ahead of the Seahawks for 59 minutes. They had played pretty well coming into this game, and the Jets just dominated. And when Aaron plays well, it makes everybody else play better. It gives them something that they didn't really have all last season, which was hope the entire game. They know that they can play with anybody as long as Aaron's playing. You know, he doesn't always have to play this well, but if he plays to some semblance of it, it's so much higher than what they've been playing with, for a long, long time.
New York. WFAN radio today, people are talking Super Bowl. This is the way it is. When you were the Jets coach, even Robert Saleh last night's getting all worked up, and Aaron Rodgers is like, chill out, dude, chill out. It's week 3. It's the Patriots. We're home. Did you feel like after big wins when you were the Jets coach, sometimes you had to temper things, talk radio, newspapers, fans go nuts? When you don't have any water in the desert and you get a bottle of water, it's the greatest thing of all time. I could see the Jets getting over their skis here, or is that not an issue?
Yeah, it's absolutely an issue, and that's another positive of having Aaron Rodgers around. And you even saw it with the hug or non-hug or whatever you want to call that on the sideline. He'll do a good job of tempering everybody's enthusiasm, not to the point where he's discouraging them being confident, but you understand that it's a long season. And you can go into 1 or 2 game streaks, but they haven't had, again, a lot of hope for a long time. So now seeing what this potentially could be, and it's with an asterisk. Who knows how bad New England's going to end up being? But that glimmer of hope, they've been so desperate for it for so long that's going to get blown up. And then you got to make sure guys aren't going on the radio or on podcasts or in interviews and talking about how great they are before they actually do something of any significance.
Listen, some of these young quarterbacks play like Bryce Young, and I don't see anything. Some like Anthony Richardson, I see talent, but he's struggling with the layups and stuff out in the flat. I see a power arm with Caleb. I see great mobility. My bigger issue is on the offensive coordinator, what are you? They're not running the ball. I don't know what they are. Now, some of that, Keenan Allen's a veteran receiver, a really dependable third down guy, and they miss him. DJ Moore's more over the top. But my takeaway is when I watch Caleb, I'm like, can you just give me a semblance of a run game? Do him a favor here. That's what I want to see is be something. It's not intramural. Be something. What are you? What's your concern?
You sound a little bit like Nick Wright, where there's a lot of excuses for why he's not playing well, and it's one of those things where he needs to control the things that he can control. And they've had a bunch of pre-snap penalties, whether it's false starts, delay of games, illegal formation, things like that. A lot of those are on the quarterback. That's cadence. That's understanding where guys are supposed to be. That's something that's inherently in his control. And you and I talked about this a lot leading up to the season. Don't start with not losing the game. You don't have to try to make a great play every play and extend it and take an 18-yard sack, and now it's killing drives, it's killing field position. So it's the interceptions, and you look at what Jaden Daniels is doing in Washington. He's at 75% completion. He's at I think a 96, 97 quarterback rating. He scored 2 touchdowns running the ball. He hasn't scored any throwing the ball. but he hasn't turned the ball over. He's giving him a chance to compete in every game. And Caleb is going to get better, and he's incredibly talented, but control the stuff that you can control. And offensively, I promise you, they are doing everything in their power to make him look good and make him be successful. There is no greater mission in Chicago than that. So he's got to take some accountability with that too, and not lose games. Start there, and we'll see his talent, and he'll continue to get better.
You know what's amazing? Jim Harbaugh with the same defensive players. They use their draft picks to get a receiver and a tackle, their top draft picks. Same defensive players are the best defense in the league statistically from the worst. Is it schematics? You know Harbaugh. You've been in the room with Harbaugh. He literally took the worst defense in the league, and then they now look hard-nosed. They're a hard power running team. What is the genius here?
Well, he walks into the building and he has something that they haven't had there for a while. It's instant legitimacy. Everybody knows wherever he's been, he's won. Comes off winning the national championship. So the guys understand, if we listen to him, if we do the things he's asking us to do, then we've got a pretty good shot of winning. So that's a big step. Then you win the first two games. That reinforces the legitimacy. And then there's authenticity. He is who he is, and he talks about loving football. And there's nobody I've been around that's more sincere in making that statement than Jim Harbaugh. And this is a long season that you're asking a lot from guys, and that love that he has for football, it's contagious, and it affects the players, it affects the room. And then the other thing that he's different and better at than a lot of guys I've been around, maybe the best, is his willingness to try new things. His openness to new ideas, his openness to bucking the norms, and if the whole league is passing all the time and he wants to run it all the time, he's going to do it. If they want to try whatever it was, his thing was always, when I was in San Francisco with him, we're the San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want. And I'm sure he's saying the same thing with the Chargers. We're the LA Chargers, we can do anything we want. And that openness and willing to push the envelope and not have just conventional wisdom, that has a really positive effect as well.
So you know this in the NFL. This is not college. The margins are even the best and worst teams. Jacksonville's 0-2 going to Buffalo. Buffalo's 2-0. If Jacksonville won, you would not be surprised at all. Nobody would. That's the NFL. And so when I look at Dallas, I could say to myself, well, Kansas City got blown out by Denver last year. And San Francisco got blown out twice, once by Baltimore and once by Cincinnati. Everybody in this league Tom Brady had horrible Sundays. I can remember one time he threw like 4 interceptions at Buffalo. It happens, okay? So when I look at the Cowboys and the Ravens.
I was right there.
It happens. You had a bad game at Cleveland one day. They got blown out at Cleveland. Then Cleveland wasn't even good. I think it was the Peyton Hillis years. He gets crushed. And so my take is.
I was the head coach.
Way to go.
Thanks, Colin. Good job.
I remember that game. You crushed Tommy. So, do I look at the Cowboys and go, hey, the Saints caught everybody flat-footed. We didn't talk about Clint Kubiak. Their offense caught everybody flat-footed. This team blew out Cleveland. They're going to beat Baltimore. I mean, that's my take, is that I want to. This game will decide what they are. I don't want to look at the Saints game and go, they're terrible. What do you make of Baltimore-Dallas this weekend?
Well, here's what I don't love about Dallas. This is 2 games in a row, if you include the playoff game where they lost at home, and they won 16 straight prior to Green Bay. And I know it was 16 straight regular season games. So now we're looking at a potential of losing 3 straight home games, which would be amazing. They had some periods of up and down last year. It looks like that could be the team we're facing or seeing again this year. And the last time they started 1-2, if they end up losing, they ended up finishing 6-10. I don't love the comments by Micah Parsons where he's saying not everybody was giving 100% effort. That's a real concern when we're talking about week 2 of the season and your home opener. That's problematic. And what I'm looking for out of Dallas is not just what they do offensively, but how quickly can they fix the problems that they have. And very different approach defensively than what they had with Dan Quinn. And how do these guys respond to the fixes, and how quickly do they have the fixes?
Yeah. All right. By the way, would you have, last night the Patriots trotted out Drake Maye and he got the you-know-what kicked out of him. Would you have done that?
Like, it's a matter of time before Drake Maye is starting in New England, and I'm sure, what did Jacoby have? He had 98 yards passing, and yeah, he was getting beat up, but you want to give Drake some opportunities, because I don't know if it's 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, but he's going to be starting. So if you can get him in there a little bit, not ideal conditions where he has, what has he had, 4 completions and 2 sacks, not great, but you are trying to get him some experience before he ends up starting, which I'm sure is not too far on the horizon.
Eric Mangini. How about that? I recalled the Browns with Peyton Hillis crushing Tom Brady, and I remember it well. It was I think it was a very sunny day, and you beat the you-know-what out of them. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was good, and it was a great story. If you just left out they weren't very good, it would have been a great story.
Good seeing you, Coach. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.